Hello, everyone. This is Tosa Fujinami again, aka Tosa Senpai, and I wanted to go live again. I know it's been a couple days. I'm going to try to make this more regular because I have plenty of thoughts I have for why I want to just get these all out. Because quite frankly, I can't keep everything balled up inside. Maybe this will reach someone that also is feeling the same frustrations I'm having with how the election went and how this now that after 2 weeks of this unbelievable ignorance that this country has shown, now we see the cabinet picks of what's going on, and some of them are ridiculous. And again, what my topic is for tonight is the honest truth. And again, I want to bring the honest truth because, quite frankly, there are people that are unwilling to admit certain things, to only see one way or the other. And quite frankly, the one topic I've seen that when I saw who got picked for the Department of Education and also some of these other cabinet picks from the doofus, they want to do there's one news item that they want to do. They want to try putting in the Ten Commandments into schools. This has been a topic that's been brought about a lot of times. No, it wasn't just recently as of before this doofus came along. I know back when I was a kid that this was also a topic of should they brand the Ten Commandments or not? This be something that you teach children or not? Just because, again, we all think that Christianity has its own problems, but one of the things that Christianity tries to push as a good thing is the Ten Commandments and some of the tenets to fall in life. That in itself is not the bad thing here. The bad thing to me is who is the one that's advocating for this? Who's associated to this measure? And do you believe that the people that are associated to this measure actually practice what they preach? I don't think so. If you think about again, this is the Ten Commandments here. Again, not everyone here is Christian. And let's go to that. That's the first thing I want to say about this. This country in the Constitution, if I'm not mistaken, I forget which amendment it was one of the first 5 amendments: freedom of speech, freedom of the press, freedom of religion. What is the Ten Commandments? Christianity, a little bit of Judaism. If you put the Ten Commandments in schools, the schools are affiliated to Christianity at that point. Where's the freedom of religion? What if you have people that maybe are good-natured people, good, honest, hard-working, good-hearted kids who may not be Christian, who may not believe it, who let's say their parents say, yeah, we're Christian, but we don't want our kids to know this stuff now or to involve with this stuff because we want them to have a flexible mind because who knows? Maybe Christianity is not for them. Maybe God is given a different path. Maybe there's a different way to God that doesn't require them to actually be full-fledged Christians. You don't know what people are. You don't know what God's path and direction are. So why in the world are you trying to force a direction onto kids right from the start when, quite frankly, we don't even know if that's going right? What if they hear the Ten Commandments? Again, let me just say this. As a little kid, you learn the Pledge of Allegiance, right? How many of you, right now as adults, actually remember what the Pledge of Allegiance is? If you are a parent, how many of you remember that? Any of you? Any of you? Not many. Do you know why? Because as a kid, the worst thing you can do is force a kid to do the same thing over and over and over again that may not be fun. If you do something that's fun over and over again, that's fine. But if you're doing something just because it's something we all do and you can't answer the question, why do we have to do it? Or you have to give a half-hearted answer. Kids aren't stupid. They see through the lie. They can see through that it's not fun. Something is not fun. So if you teach the Ten Commandments and it's not fun for them, the thing that can happen is a backlash. Or they won't remember it and they won't care about it. Just like not many people care about the Pledge of Allegiance anymore. Because here's the thing. How should I say this? We are trying to make America a nation where people can be happy and proud of what they are. The Pledge of Allegiance should be something that comes from because they have love for the country, not because it's because it's their obligation. Anytime you make something an obligation, especially the little kids, they reject. You're making the Ten Commandments it's already the Ten Commandments is something that people outside Christianity don't want to follow because, quite frankly, it's not because of what the Ten Commandments are. It's because of who the people are trying to advocate and trying to force feed onto people. That's why it's not. Now you're trying to force into schools. You're gonna see the opposite effect of what you think is gonna happen. Sure, kids may not commit those acts, that are against the Ten Commandments, but their heart's not going to be in it, they may not feel as revolted by certain things. They're like, I don't care about the Ten Commandments anymore. And why should I care about it? Why should I care about Ten Commandments? Because, quite frankly, I'm being force-fed this as a little kid. So why do I care about it as an adult? Because I don't want to hear about it. I didn't like it as a kid. I don't like it as an adult. Throw it away. Get away from me. You want that to happen, people. You want that effect to happen for kids. Again, think if you were a kid. Let's forget you're an adult right now. Stop thinking like an adult. Think like a kid. Did you want to learn the Ten Commandments as a kid? Hell no. I bet you did. Just like you didn't like the Pledge of Allegiance, right? Just like the Star Spangled Banner. Sure, some people like it when they're adults, but maybe as kids they didn't like the song. You know why? Because it has the Star Spangled Banner is not something that can be fun unless you go to a sporting event, unless you don't hear it every so often. It's like, oh, it has a nice catchy tune, but I don't want to hear it every day. Just like the Pledge of Allegiance, I got sick of it. To be honest, I could care less about it. When I was in high school, in the end of middle school, I didn't even care about it. Sometimes I didn't even bother, to be honest. I just winged it because I don't care about it anymore. Why? I'm in this country for so long. I've heard it once or twice. It's enough. You don't need to keep doing it over and over and over again. And that's what the Ten Commandments that you post is going to have the same effect, especially the kids who aren't even Christian or who their parents may say, I don't want their kids to be Christian. I want their kids to learn and grow into the faith. Realize that the faith is great, but not force it onto their kids. And when you force onto kids, the last thing you want to do is force something onto kids that isn't fun or they don't like, because they're going to reject it, they're going to remember it, they're never going to do it again, and then you lost the kid forever about religion, about the Ten Commandments. That's the problem with force feeding. You can't just think that, oh, I want Christian ideals on everyone. Let's think about something for a second about religion. Here's the thing about religion here. Do you know that Christianity, even though you evangelicals think it's there, do you know how many people are so secular? Not because they don't want to believe Christianity, but because of the people associated to the faith now. You have pedophiles, sexual deviants, sexual abusers. You have people who are willing to commit adultery. You have people willing to steal and lie just to make themselves look better. The passive aggressiveness that people can't stand, the manipulation. You don't think people expect this not to happen so much in the faith, but yet there's so much of this going on. And you know what? It makes me sad to hear this. It makes me sad to hear all these stories about people who are very religious, very faithful, and they have to walk away from the church or walk away from certain things. I myself is the same thing. I've been disenfranchised by what I keep hearing because also that these evangelicals are okay letting these people get away with it. That's the problem. You're willing to judge people who are good people and let them get away who are really just want the good in everyone, but you're willing to forgive all these sexual deviants and let them and vote them into the White House. Get these people in here. And don't say you didn't vote for this. You knew. We've been telling you this guy doesn't do any of the stuff he preaches. He basically lies all the time. We told you this, and you still vote for him. So what's the deal? Okay. Now onto the matter of the Ten Commandments. Why the people who are trying to put this into the schools? They're very very hypocritical. They're very devious, conniving about this. So let's go through the Ten Commandments for a second. Let's see. Number one. Thou shalt not have any other gods Number one. Thou shalt not have any other gods before God. And this goes right into number two. Thou shalt not make yourself an idol. Okay. Let's think about the doofus. What was his message? What was his MAGA message? Let's think about this. Oh, if I'm not mistaken, you can trust in me. I will fix everything. I will make America great again. I will make this happen. You don't have to trust in anyone but me. I am the one that will help you through. If I'm not mistaken, you doofuses out there that vote for the doofus, isn't that making yourself an idol? Yeah. Okay, so that broke number two. The doofus already broke number two. And his cabinet wants to put the Ten Commandments in the schools. Alright, he already broke number two. Okay, that's a hypocritical statement. He broke number 2 already, so who cares about commandment number 2? Going back to commandment number 1. Thou shalt not have any other gods before God. Who do we put our entire faith in Christianity? Oh, I know this one. It's God, right? What did the doofus just do in number 2? He made himself an idol, meaning he made himself into a god. He wants you to put your faith into him. So what did you, and also the cabinet is telling you to obey this god, just like they're saying, oh, we have to obey him because he's the president. Ah, isn't that having another god before God? So the politicians that you voted for, the cabinet selections that you voted for, the doofus you voted for, they're telling you to put him before God. Ah, okay. So we just broke commandment 1 and 2 already. This is even before we go through the next 8. Let's see. Number 3. Thou shalt not take the Lord's name in vain. Let's think about this. All these people that have already committed the broken acts of commandments of 1 and 2, putting the doofus before God, and by making this doofus an idol, a god. You're using the Lord's name in vain because all these corrupt politicians say you should obey this doofus, saying that it was God's choice because God's people made this choice. Guess what? You're using God's name in vain there because God did not make this choice. People make this choice. I don't know if they were led by God, but in the end, it's still people making this choice. So you're using the God's name in vain just to defend the break of commandment 1 and 2. There we go. Number 3 commandment, already broken. Number 4, remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. We've already elected sexual offenders, pedophiles, liars, embezzlers, people who are willing to, and I believe, and I'm not saying this, you're by my choice, idiot, that idiot that made the choice, I think they made it on a Sabbath day, or let's say, remember the Sabbath day. Let's say it's not Sunday. Let's say it's another day. These people are not keeping it holy. They're committing their acts on any day they want. Because I'm going to tell you about all the next ones that are coming up that they break on other. They couldn't keep it holy on the other commandments. Okay, so we've broken 4 commandments already by this doofus and his cronies in the administration already. That's 4. All right, commandment number 5. Honor your father and mother. Let me ask you something. These people who, let's say, have committed so much of these crimes, you think their mother and father would actually tell them to do these things? Don't you think a lot of their mothers and fathers would tell them, like, come on, come clean, be a good person, give some peace and solace to people you've committed crimes against? Because quite frankly, it's not the first time we're hearing about this. If this is the first time, it's like, okay, we'll defend you. We know you're innocent. But if as parents, mother and father, we hear your stories over and over and over again in the news, you think as mother and father they're that stupid? They don't realize their kid may be off the beaten path, off the right path? And here's the thing. The doofus, he doesn't like his parents. He hates them. Their stories, he denounced them. He's like, he looks down on them. So he's already broken the 5th commandment. He doesn't honor his parents, his father and mother. And let's take this even further. Let's say your father is Jesus, God. Let's say mother is the Virgin Mary. How is the doofus honoring the mother? The mother is sacred. The mother should be honored as a woman. Yet, he fondles women. He rapes women. He abuses, manipulates women. How's that honoring your mother? The father, God. I just said he's been breaking the first 2 and the first 3 and the first 4 commandments already. So he's not already honoring the father. You kidding me? Are you effing kidding me? He doesn't honor the father. That's the 5th commandment he's broke. Okay, So that's already 5 commandments down off the list that he's broken. We'll go further. Number 6, thou shalt not murder. In this one, it's going to apply, especially if you put the commandments in the schools. Here's the thing. Murder. Do we mean in the literal sense, like killing people? Or figuratively, metaphorically, in killing someone's spirit, killing someone's emotions, killing someone's mindset, killing someone's well-being, physical and financial well-being? It could be both, and I'll defend both. How this doofus and his cronies have already broken both. Literally, murder. You know Kamala Harris wanted a ceasefire, right? She was actually trying to advocate thou shalt not murder. From that sense, you know what the doofus has done ever since he got elected? He's elected people who are promoting war, who are saying, we're going to fight to support Russia. We're going to fight to support Israel and destroy Palestine, destroy Ukraine by supporting war efforts. Do you know just because you don't press the bomb to shoot the bomb at someone, just because you just gave the word to someone to kill someone like Putin or Israel or Kim Jong-un or everyone else, Johnny, I forgot his name was, you are basically just murdering people and murdering innocent people, and you knowingly do it. So you're basically murdering. So you're already breaking that commandment literally, now figuratively, financially, morally, spiritually, emotionally. How many women have, let's say that Attorney General Matt Gaetz, Matt Gaetz has molested and ruined their mental spirits. How many women have been abused by the doofus are trying to get retribution right now, and they're not going to get any? Do you know that because and that what you Americans probably just did? You are basically just committed murder in that way. You vote the doofus in, basically saying that he's exonerated from all the crimes he's committed. So you just murdered all the spirits of the people who've been hurt from him because you validated that this guy is right because he's president now, and now the people who are suffering mentally and all that, they're getting killed even more. So not only has a doofus committed murder in all of these respects, and his cronies, you American public who vote for him have done the same thing. So it's hypocritical to put this Ten Commandments when not only has this new administration has broken all 6 of these commandments, you yourselves have broken the 6th commandment already. Okay, that's 6 down. Already broken by everyone. Everyone's already broken. Number 7, thou shalt not commit adultery. I just went through it. It's related to number 6. And all of these Matt Gaetz, especially Matt Gaetz and the doofus, have broken the number 7 already to commit adultery. So how are you going to tell kids when you say this commandment to them? They're going to say, our attorney general groped a woman. They raped a woman. But I'm being taught this, though. But the president did it, so can I do it too? That means I don't have to listen to it, right? And guess what? And then as a parent, what are you going to say? What are you going to say, parents? You're going to be like, yeah, exactly. You don't know because the fact is you vote for a guy who committed these acts. Your kid asked the question. They're being taught by this because you wanted the 10 Commandments in the schools. What are you going to say? The president committed this? The 10 Commandments say they don't. What's your answer then? What are you going to tell them? Which one's right? You can't because you also broke all the commandments, making this doofus an idol. So now, before God, so what are you going to tell them? That the doofus is right, the commandments are wrong, the commandments are from God, and you should believe God over the doofus? It's just a circle. You're gonna go crazy. Yeah, you're gonna go crazy because you're going to have to tell kids how to go around this one. This is the worst one of them all to go around. Guess what? That 7 commandments already broken. Let's go number 8. Thou shalt not steal. Remember I mentioned number 6, thou shalt not murder? It also could be murdering someone's financial well-being. Read about Atlantic City. Read about those women that he's abused. Read about the businesses that went bankrupt and how it's hurt people just so he could save his own hide. Isn't that... what is that to me? I think there's a right word for that. I think this is a word? What's that word? It begins with S, ends with L. It has the middle of a T, the word T, like the Boston Tea Party. Steal. That's called stealing, people. Guess what? The doofuses committed that. That's number 8. That's 8 down. Already done. Number 9. Thou shalt not testify or bear false witness against your neighbor. Literally, your neighbor could be the person that lives next to you. But figuratively, in reality, your classmate in school is a neighbor. Your coworker at your workplace is a neighbor. Your athlete that you sit on the team is your neighbor. Your girlfriend, if you're a romantic relationship or any type of relationship at church, whatnot, they're your neighbors. Okay. Guess what the doofus has done? He has lied to you so many times. He has already lied. When I mentioned about number 8, stealing, that's another form of lying. Don't you think he told them, hey, this business is alright, you'll be fine. Atlantic City, you'll be fine, don't worry about it. My casinos will help people get rich and all that. Guess what? He was lying to you because all he wanted was his money, and he escaped scot-free. He hasn't suffered yet. Who suffered? The people who bought into his lies. Right now, I see these Twitter messages. Oh, he's gonna deport my grandmother. I didn't vote for this. Yeah, you did. And he may say he didn't want to deport it, but the cabinet members he's elected will not differentiate between a good immigrant or a bad immigrant. Immigrants are immigrants. Period to him. Here's the other thing. Project 2025. You actually all believe him saying he didn't believe that? Everything he's done since then has been for Project 2025. You honestly think that we say he wasn't going to do it? You honestly think he wasn't going to do it? Are you that moronic? It was obvious based on what he's telling, what he was saying, that he was just lying through his teeth trying to get you to like him. Bear false witness, working at that McDonald's. You think he wanted to work there? He was happy about it? Hell no. If I was him, I would have burned the clothes I was wearing that day because I don't want to smell that crap on me the whole time. And again, this is coming from a guy who grew up dirt poor, who worked in a food hall before. I've worked in my undergrad food hall. I know what it smells like. And quite frankly, I grew out of it. You think a guy in almost 80 who has been around rich, who's abused women, wants to work at McDonald's and liked it? You're a doofus. You're a doofus just as much as he is. You believe that. So he was lying to you from the start. And not only that, but all his cabinet members, especially Matt Gaetz, has lied too. So that's number 9. 9 commandments are broken. Number 10. Thou shalt not covet. How many times has this doofus been accused of sexual abuse, of being a sexual deviant? How many times has this guy been married, divorced? How many times has he kind of made hints? Yeah, hints at Ivanka Trump. And I'll use Trump just because it's his daughter's last name. How many times has he tried to make verbal advances to his daughter? It's very schemish, it's very sketchy. Tell me, what is that called when you do that? What is that called? I don't know. It begins with C, ends with a T, has a middle of OVE. Oh yeah, covet. And that's the same thing Matt Gaetz has done with being a pedophile too. And all these priests that you guys all believed in, that you didn't ever look past your blinders. Okay, that's 10 commandments. Thou shalt not have any other gods before God. You guys are making a doofus before honoring doofus your God. Thou shalt make yourself an idol. The doofus has done that himself. Thou shalt not take the Lord's name in vain. These cabinet members are using his word in vain so that you can obey the doofus. That's using his name in vain. 4. Remember the Sabbath day and keep it holy. I haven't seen much holiness lately on any of the Sabbath days. These people are doing what they want and break all the sins. So that's 4. 5. Honor your mother and father. Literally, how they honor him if they're breaking these commandments to the Father, God Jesus, or to the Mother, the Virgin Mary. Or figuratively, they've been disappointed Mars and Farce for years, and one of them, the doofus himself, has pretty much wants to condemn them, pretty much condemn them spiritually, figuratively. 6, thou shalt not murder, both literally and figuratively. They've committed this and still will. 7, thou shalt not commit adultery. You just validated the adultery. You think they're gonna stop? 8, thou shalt not steal. They're doing it. They're still doing it right now. You people that just realizing it, we knew he was gonna steal and all that. 9, thou shalt not testify or bear false witness against your neighbor. They're lying to they're through their teeth right now, like literally. And number 10, thou shalt not covet. They've been breaking that and they're still breaking it now. So the 10 commandments you put on the school boards that they want to put in schools, these people who are advocating for it, they've broken every one of them. So don't you think this is a whole act to put this in schools when the people advocating for this can't practice what they preach? And this is not, I'm not trying to lie through my teeth. I'm not a Democrat, or I'm not trying to be a pro-Democrat or anti-Republican here. I'm just being an honest, decent, common sense human being here, because I'll give you the truth. I decided to get baptized almost, let's say, I think it was now 14 years ago now. But I grew up secular, let's say 14. I grew up secular for about 26, 27 years of my life. And guess what? I still believe in God. I believe in God's goodness. I don't believe in the faith. I have faith in God. I don't have faith in the people. I don't have faith in the church right now. So I can take a look at this from the back seat because I grew up secular. And I'm looking at this, I'm like, are you kidding me? You guys want this in schools. You guys hear the people who are advocating for this schools. But the people who are advocating for this are the ones that have broken every single one of them, and they will still break every single one of them. So how important is it to have this in? You guys always say, if they're religion, but they're breaking of this, are they really practicing religion? Is this really Christianity they're practicing? Or are they doing this just to make themselves feel better because now they're pushing something onto you that they're okay not doing themselves? Think about it, people. Think about what these people are doing. Stop believing every single word you hear. Investigate, research. Again, we have a very, very extensive education system right now. Hopefully it doesn't get gutted, to be honest, by this doofus administration. We have an education system that allows us to ask questions freely. If you have a question that may be controversial, they'll answer it on the side. You maybe push aside to answer the question, though, because the teachers are supposed to be brought to be good, honest people. Hopefully they're not people that are like the doofus, but we may have plenty of those teachers. But we have an education system where people can pursue what they want. There used to be a library, but now there's the internet. You can use the internet to read about every single topic you want under the sun. So please take advantage of that. Use your smartphone. Look up information on Google, on whatever. Vet your sources. Don't just use one source. Look at different sources. Also, look at sources where the source isn't some random com or some random domain that doesn't make any sense. Sometimes the domains I trust, if I'm looking for this research, is .edu. Because the reason why is, if it's on an educational website or a institutional website, and there's something controversial in it, they will get called on it and they will take it down. They need to, or revise it, or whatever, or try to make it objective as possible. You cannot objectify saying something like, "Oh, the doofus has been accused of sexual abuse. He's been convicted of embezzlement," because the truth is, he has been convicted. There's no subjectivity about that. He's been convicted. If the subjectivity would be, oh, he was convicted by people who are mostly Democrat. No, it's not mostly. The jury is made up of people on both sides of the fence. There's no such thing as a partisan jury. It is bipartisan. People that are elected to a jury are on both sides. And if they say unanimously that someone's guilty, that's a unanimous bipartisan decision. So that's why people look this up. The people that are trying to advocate for this Ten Commandments in the schools are the same people that have broken every single commandment. So think about how hypocritical it is, and think about this. Is this really going to help religion? Or is this going to cause more headaches for you and cause more thoughts of, wait a minute, the people are pushing onto this. They're not doing it. So why do I care? Why should I put this in? This is nothing. I should just throw this away. And guess what? Unfortunately, because of what you've done, that makes you believe in God and religion less and less and less and less and less and less. Thank you, America. I just had to get this out there because I'm getting tired of people thinking the Ten Commandments, as much as they may be good tenets, think of the people who are trying to push this onto you. Thank you, and have a good night, and I'll be back with another thought video tomorrow. Have a good night, everyone. This is The Honest Truth. Bye-bye.